Hello, SLOAN-C OTC adventurers. This is Julia, and it's week 2 in the OTC 9-week course. I'm using Screencast-O-Matic this week. I do want to note that I used to use it primarily as a browser-based tool, meaning I actually just opened up another browser window and clicked record, but something's going on with the browsers and Java. So Java has been kind of a problem for me in the last several months. So what I did today was actually just download the Screencast-O-Matic tool so that it's now an application on my computer, and so I'm using it that way. But I really like Screencast-O-Matic. It's really easy to use, and it is a top tool in my online teaching toolkit. And the use of screencasting would be a top strategy that I use to review prior course activities, preview upcoming activities, as well as for orientations for online courses. Also, my students use it as a tool for their presentations and such. So first, let's go into the course and remind ourselves of a few things. I wasn't planning on doing this, but as I look at the window here, I'm reminded that you may not have attended orientation, or this may not have come up yet. And I don't know if you can tell, but on my screen I actually dock a lot of stuff that lives normally on the right hand side of your screen. So you can see that my navigation box, my administration, search forums, latest news, technology RSS feed are all docked on the left hand side. So the whole docking thing, if I click on one of these things that are docked, let me go down to search forums, I can click this little arrow that undocks it and puts it back as a box on the right hand side. So I could very quickly undock these blocks if needed, especially for demonstration purposes. And then, to be honest, I just don't like the 3-column layout. It's a little bit busy for me, so here we go. I can redock it by clicking that little left arrow and redock these boxes. I do like to have the Twitter feed in this little box, and pretty much that's it. I like a fairly clean screen, and then as I need the features from these tools over here on the side, then I can access them per my need. Alright, so moving forward, let's remind ourselves of the first block that has the syllabus, schedule, announcements, help and mentor forums. Notice in the facilitators corner you'll be getting this video posted here momentarily, and I usually put a direct link to the news forum transcript right under that multimedia piece, so it will be there for you as for immediate access. Alright, so then we keep scrolling. That facilitator area is just on my screen, not on yours. Let's remind ourselves what we had going on for week 1. You had your required readings, and for a grade you needed to do activity 1-1 introductions, which glad to say everyone got through that very nicely, and we just finished that as of last night. And then we would move into making sure that you have your graded activity 1-2 taken care of, and I'll be grading that later on today. Additionally, there are some optional and extra credit activities. I think it's worth doing whether you need it or not, but if you had not completed activity 1-1, then you would have needed to take care of the extra credit activity. But that wasn't the case for anyone in this cohort. Great job, everybody. Okay, so I noticed a little bit of noise in the hall in the background. So one of the nifty things that Screencast-O-Matic does is lets you pause. And so I paused and closed my door and came back and restarted. And so now we can look at what we need to do for week 2 activities. These activities are designed to help you identify some great resources, maybe find a favorite, for providing guidance in designing, developing, and even reviewing or evaluating your online courses. And yes, I am using a transcript. I do go off transcript a little bit sometimes, but I try to stick to it. Anyway, in week 2 you have a required reading for quality metrics for online courses And your activity for a grade is graded activity 2-1, facilitator guided discussion on course quality and your course review. So I will be participating this week in our activity as a master learner. And this is the first time that I'm doing this, so we'll see how I do. You can grade me on that if you want. Anyway, also we hope that you take the survey on introduction forum. I have to admit I was a little bit bummed that no one replied to my introduction post, and I think it might be because it was buried at the bottom. So that introduction forum was kind of my idea, that survey, because I was kind of wondering about the buried post situation. Anyway, as in every week, there are extra credit activities, so you do have some optional extra credit activities here, and these are about workload and time management, which I think is a really good topic to make sure you, if you don't get to it this week, maybe come back at a later time when you're feeling like you have the time to do so. Remember that you do have access to this course for the entire year of your time in the program, so maybe save some of this information for later if needed, but I have seen in the past that this was a very valuable topic for learners, so I recommend checking it out if you can. So that's it for week 2, and I look forward to seeing you in the forums, and I hope you have the best week ever. Take care, everyone.